Do I hear a deer? What? Hello! Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? How are you doing today? It's another Saturday. We have plenty of skins to show and quite some odd things to share as well. If you saw last week, you'd definitely know what we're on about. So, gentlemen, how about we get the skin showcase up and running? Let's get nice and set up, because now we are starting. And here I am. Right, so what I'm going to have to do real quickly is just quickly turn off the music, the animal noises. Got a nice little intro there, didn't we? Very nice visuals. Thank you for the ideas, Mr. Micro. But I must turn off the animals, for they do not know when to be quiet. So, back in a minute. Over to here. Where are we? We're going to the front page of Rust Steam Market. Nope, we're going to SCMM. Right, guys, how long has it been since that Rust rotation? I do believe it's been 47 hours. If the Rust rotation happened at 9:45 on the Thursday, this is what we have at the moment to work with our data. So, what do we have right here? No armour or clothing, and that was to be expected because we knew how things were going to be. I see we've got a few people in here already, so we just got started. Let's just drag you in. One new guy over here asking questions. Hello, Mr. New Guy. How you doing? What I'll do is I'll answer your questions after I go through all of this, and then we'll start showing off everything from here and potentially new things in the future afterwards in game. So hold on a minute. Hold your questions just for now. Let's just go through all of this. Then I'll help you out with your questions afterwards. So, right on the back over here, we have another graffiti storage. Now, weirdly, we did not see clothes storage, did we? And this is a really weird thing that's been going on for a while. So, if you are in the know, you'd be aware that we had the clothes storage appear in the workshop about a month ago. And we've waited for it, and we've waited for it, and we've waited for it, and it still didn't come. And recently, TGG, that German guy, he's passed on word for what Helk said. Helk being the person who decides what skins get accepted, as he's the main face punch dev. So they've turned around and said, no more graffiti storages to be made, please. But now they've apparently clarified, please finish off the electric box. Now, electric was supposed to be the 18th. I don't know what's going on, because we still have clothes here, and it's still not being accepted, and it very likely might not be accepted. But for now, we've got coal. So let's just focus that. So, almost 2 days in, and it's got 13,000 sales. It's looking like coal potentially will be getting the standard 23 to 24,000 sales as most of the other graffiti storages have had. In fact, how is Tools doing at the moment? It's very likely Tools is going to round up to about 23,000. Remember, as we said before, there's plenty of private accounts out there that SCMM does not track. They will eventually start appearing as those private accounts start selling the skins or trading them over to other accounts that are being tracked by SCMM. So, Graffiti Tools is probably going to be perfectly fine, but you can't judge its price right now. You need to wait at least a week or two, because there's loads of people right now that have these on cooldown, and the very second they're not on cooldown, they're going to try and sell them, aren't they? Makes sense. So, here's another thing that I want to clarify. If clothes box is if the clothes storage is never accepted, will that mean the armor storage will get more and more investment into it? Based on the fact that we don't have a clothes storage. I don't know what's going on. Now, here's another thing that I want to ask you lot. Do any of you have any good idea as to why the clothes storage wasn't accepted? Or hasn't been accepted? So that's a task for you, because we'll ask you again later on. So to all of the chat right here, right now, what is the best answer you can think of for why clothes storage wasn't accepted? We'll ask you again later, so funny jokes, silly ideas, think of whatever you can, and we'll do it for later. So, coal's looking perfectly fine, and when we compared it to the previous instances of coal storages, what am I talking about? You know exactly what I'm on about, neon storages over here. So, how did coal fare in comparison to all of the rest? We go by highest price. We look around. Oh, look, charcoal's right in the middle. Right splat in the middle. It sold 32,000 sales almost. Yeah, oh no, 33. Sorry, not that subscribers. That's sales. 33,000, which is fairly average in terms of sales that all of Neon had. Neon had between like, on average about 40,000. Yeah, because we had some instances where there were 50,000 and 30,000 and 20,000 sales. It sold very, very well. Let's just put it that way. Charcoal had a very nice average amount at like 33,000, and now it's selling for almost $7 a piece. Charcoal potentially is in demand. Demand obviously will bring up price because more people buying them out equals less quantity on the market, which also means prices go up. Now we also do have another storage to reference. We have the scientific storages, and this one's a little bit different because the charcoal was actually the second last storage to come out. So with a lot less investment towards them, they suffered. And why did they suffer? Because of Antwerp 2022 causing a market dip. So the original ones to come out in scientific storage, they all held their place and they held decent investment, and their price stayed up. Why? Because so many more people had jumped. Oh, did I just get 100 bits? Thank you very much. Cheers. I didn't realise. Thank you very much. I lost my trace of thought. Let's refresh. So, do you understand that the first pieces to come out, as it gradually gets more and more and more storages coming out, there's more and more investment into the original ones because people realise, well, hang on a minute, if we're going to get more and more and more and more, surely these are going to get more and more expensive. So more investment, more buy orders, more support to keep the price up. These held up strong during the market dip, but the more recent ones that came out suffered. Fuel storage very likely is on the up because it's very unique. There is no other storage that's purely to be a fuel storage. So that's up 117 purely because of that. It has a demand because there's no other thing like it. Now the charcoal over here sold for $2.49, as we've seen with every other collection storage set, and now I've just got another 100 bits. Again, thank you very much, buddy. You subscribed as well. It doesn't show. That's weird. I want to thank you more, but let me finish this off. So charcoal, currently right now, I haven't got my extension on. 1 second. Scroll down, turn you on. There we are. I'll switch this back on. Come on, there you go, right there. So let's turn you $2. There we are. So currently, right now, it's selling for around $1.98. But how far off is it from $2.49? I reckon a good 10 to 15 purchases and we're straight back up to there. Now, at the moment, with the total amount on the Steam market, there's only 86. I would say on average now, a good 100 quantity for a fairly in-demand item on the Steam market is perfectly normal. So 86 is perfectly fine. When more and more people come back to this, when they start putting their money back down into the scientific storage set, it's gradually going to keep going back up in price. And you know what? We'll look at the recent history, and you can see it's happened quite recently. It went up and it went back down again for some reason. Not sure what happened. Maybe this was just a random push. Maybe it was a pump. But we were very likely assuming that it could easily jump back up to maybe around $2 or $3 in good time. However, we are aware that there might be another market dip in the near future with another CSGO major around November time. But as of now, charcoal is below at minus 20%, but it's kind of doing just as well as all the others. In good time, it's probably going to flourish like we saw with the neon storage. Give it some time and it'll all of these will probably in the positive. So yeah, back to graffiti storage back over here. Graffiti cold storage is on course to be at an average amount sold, and as of now all graffiti storages are in the positive. People are wanting to jump in and buy out the whole set because they are aware that this is very likely going to end up potentially being like the neon storage set. Sound good? Right, so if tools is going to be alright, I'm fairly sure this is going to be alright. Coal is in demand. You do need it. You need it for your explosives. You need it for your ammo. It's always going to be needed. You're going to need it right next to your furnaces because you're constantly going to keep burning wood. There's a reason why wood is usually always in demand, because you constantly need it, because you constantly need to keep making coal, and this guy constantly keeps giving me bits. Thank you very much, bud. K-Dub from the boot. Much appreciated. Hey, I love you, dude. You honestly saved my life, but I don't want to get into it. I don't know how I did that. I just sit here and talk about skins all day like a madman. But I can't stop. Must continue. So, antique rocket launcher. As we mentioned, this that we see right here, it's the first rocket launcher skin that we've seen in the past 9 months. It's the first marketable rocket launcher in all of 2022. The last rocket launcher came out last November, as I said, military rocket launcher. And because of the sheer lack of options, as you can see, so many of these are in the positive. Why? With a sheer lack of options, people have been going to the cheapest options to quickly just grab at any old skin, because they like their rocket launcher, but they like it to look cool as well. So they're going to go ahead and grab a whole bunch of the cheaper ones, and they're going to keep going up and up and up in price, and then gradually even every single one's going to be in the positive, except carrot launcher. Everybody seems to hate their carrots. They don't want to eat their vegetables. Pineapple furnace is definitely plodding along very nicely. So this had a bit of a hype behind it. Loads of people saw the silliness behind the design. Loads of people wanted to jump in and buy it out. But I wanted to warn everybody, be cautious. You know, we did have the zucchini furnace out not too long ago. And yes, that did also look very silly. And that's down to minus 32%, so it can be a bit of a problem. On average, most of the recent furnaces are down by 30%. Down 32, down 30, down 32, down 30. Now this already has surpassed the amount of sales that the zucchini had, and it very likely could match up to around maybe Primordial Forge. What I'm saying is we need to see how many of these sell. Let's wait till Wednesday or Thursday, then make a move if we're going to buy any. But why or what will happen? Like, why is this getting all this hype? Did someone make a big fuss about it on YouTube? I am quite surprised. Let's just put it that way. Is it just because it's goofy? Will it hold? I have doubts. I don't think it's going to hold very greatly. But in the long term, how will it do? I think it'll be perfectly fine. So we'll leave that for now. Reinforced garage door. Very nice, simple, realistic style for a garage door. Nothing insane, not super colourful. I reckon it'll find its place. It is glow in the dark. It's not too bright, but if you stand in front of it at night time, you will still be seen. We kind of talked about that last week. We did show this off last week as well, didn't we? It was one of the skins we were anticipating to be accepted. So, congratulations in getting your reinforced collection now, Mr. Slanosta. Yeah. Now we've got a new AK over here, and it looks quite interesting. Very simplistic, but niche and nice design. I like it. It's very straightforward. It's not zany. It's not insane. It's nice, simple, colourful style. So, will it hold its price? Probably not, and we know that. Why? Because we have far too many AK-47 skins. We are oversaturated with options. Nobody is loyal to their new AK. There's always another AK that's going to come around in another 2 weeks' time, maybe next week or the week after. We usually expect the AK skins to do badly. Down 17%, down 30%, down 57%, down 33%, down 29%. The only recent AK that's done well this year is Skullkiller. And the only reason why that's in the positive now is because we've recently been getting the Skullkiller clothing and armour. So if that never happened, this will probably be in the negative as well. And it was for a long time. It was until we got that Armour and Clothing. So now we'll move on over to here. What do we have next? We have the Bullseye Python. Bullseye Python is the very first skin for me, Mr. GXST Face. I don't know how to pronounce your name. My apologies. But congratulations, buddy. Welcome to the Rust skin making scene. We're always keeping an eye out, and I hope to see more things from you in the future. So he started off with a Python skin, and unfortunately, Python skins are weird. Python skins are very weird. So as we look at the most recent ones, this got pumped. People came in and jumped in and bought out a ton of them. The reason why is likely down to the fact that this sold hardly any of them. If you recall, this came out during the beginning of July, that week where we had the Outer Planets Locker, the Dropbox, the black gold clothing, the glow-in-the-dark tools, that strange-looking garage door. So this got, like, it wasn't noticed that much, and hardly any sold. And what's recently happened is, if you look at the history, Yeah, someone came in and bought out a bunch of stock. You can easily see that jumped up in price. So we can't use this to make a comparison with, so we're going to forget about you. But what we could also point out, if this sells for hardly any, this very likely could happen. So what we saw here could happen to this, but it's already surpassed the amount of sales there, so we won't worry too much. What we should probably compare it to is the likes of the Noir Python, maybe the Neo Soul Python. This is probably going to reach around 10,000 sales. It's a very nice design to it, but again, we've had the likes of Shards Python with its helpful aim sights. We've had the Noir Python, which was all nice and black and white. And we've had the Neo Soul Python, which is all... It looks like it glows, but it doesn't. It's got a very interesting design to it. But they're all in the negative. Then you've got Black Gold Python, which sold for $4 and now sells for $5. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So to be 100% honest with my opinion, I don't think it's going to hold up its price. I don't think it's going to be a perfect investment to jump into. So again, if you really want to buy some, let's just wait and see what happens until Wednesday or Thursday, see how many have sold, because a sheer lack of purchases could also equal a sheer lack of demand. I'm talking so much. Don't worry guys, I see that you're all talking. I understand you're asking questions. I will get to you in a second. I'm talking to my chat, by the way. I can quickly show them. Say hello, chat. Yay! And we got the JPEG app. JPEG, the collection's kind of doing a bit weird, unfortunately. The very first skin to come out was a Thompson. Thompson skins, very reliable. Very, very high gun demand in game. They are very easy to make, not too much of a problem if you lose it. Always a very good investment. But all the other things that have come after it, the SAR, which has been a bit 50-50 recently, an AK skin, I just explained the problem with the AKs, and the LR300, which has very low gun demand due to the fact that it's very hard to get in-game, which would also mean that you don't get to use it that much, which would also mean that you don't get to use its skins that much, which would also mean that its skin values are down. Because if you don't get to use the skins that much, down in value. Not good. So, the SAP. The SAP. We just had the No Mercy SAP come out last week. That sold for $2.49. This new SAP that we're looking at is also selling for $2.49. Let's go see how that No Mercy is doing at the moment. Oh, it's down 20%. Wonderful. So, yeah. Even though this is part of a beloved, important set, No Mercy, very valuable bits in there, very nice clothing and armour, weapons, doesn't matter. It's already down by 20%. So this so far has only sold just over 5,000. I reckon we're going to reach around the same amount as Chompy. And I reckon we're probably going to end up in a very similar pattern to Chompy, Prototype SAP and Waves of Dawn SAP. Yes, the semi-automatic pistol was buffed at the beginning of June with the recoil update. But the skins, it's just not showing. It's just not showing any positives. The skins don't have demand, and it's very likely this is going to suffer because of it as well. So keep an eye out. Maybe it'll be alright. Maybe hardly any of them sell, and then things will be alright. So, cool. And now we also have the Toxic Wolf Bow. We kept an eye on this last week. We had a good look at it. It was a very nice design. Only 5,000 sales so far. So the demand kind of isn't there. Would that lead to this potentially becoming valuable down the line? I think we're going to probably end up at around 10,000 sales, which would be over Headhunter Bow and Heart Hunter Bow, and these are down by 39% each. Wow, that's not looking good. But it's very colourful, stands out. It's a weird, grimy, radioactive yellow. So, will people like that? I can't guarantee it, but I reckon it stand out enough where it could probably be liked enough to be bought out as time goes on. Look at the No Mercy Bow. This is in the positive, but it went down, it went up, it went down again, and went back up just recently. So, yep, went up, went down, went up, down, up, down, up. The highest point it's been was around post-Christmas time, and that got boosted all the way up to about $3. Right now, how much is it selling for? It's selling for $2.27. So if its highest point is going to be around $3 and it spent the vast majority of this year below its restore price, yeah, that's probably the fate we're going to see with the likes of the Toxic Wolf Bow. So this is probably going to be better off to do a buy order on. I also did only a buy order on a Dragon Rage Bow as well, and that's already down by 10%. But this, again, is also part of a very important set, the Dragon Raid set. Bow skins, are they in demand? Well, the bow is probably one of the most used weapons that you get in game, purely based on the fact that it's super easy to just quickly make a bow. You quickly run outside, you see someone in the distance, you might want to kill them, I quickly make a bow. Get some cloth, get some wood, done, start shooting people. So you're always very likely going to be using a bow at some point. So there is a demand to have some skins. I feel like people are going to be picking out maybe just a few that stand out really amazingly. Like you got your tempered bow, your comics bow that's pure white. You got your fish bow, retro wave bow, very nice and colourful. You got your jade bow, all green and then a pure red string. You know, people are very picky. So they're going to have at least maybe just one very nice looking bow skin, and that's all you need. So, yeah. Gentlemen, that is everything so far, and it's very depressing to see that we expected this to happen. No armour, no clothing. We do not have many options at the moment. It is depressing. It is very depressing. So this is the point where I reiterate, if you are a creator, we need to see more clothing. We need to see more armour. By clothing, I mean hoodie and pants. We don't really need burlap, but again, we haven't seen any burlap for a long time either, so choice is yours. But yeah, we need to be speculating and anticipating every single week. And at the moment, the only thing that we can anticipate is the Skull Killer Tier 2 and the Black Gold Tier 2. We have nothing else to look forward to in terms of armour and clothing collections. So we do have some, and more bits. K-Dub, thank you very much. Alright, so, I mean, don't forget, every Monday we also take a look and see what the workshop's looking like. So here we are. Here's my my curated followed authors. I have a video to help out with explaining how to set this up. But hopefully next Monday or in 2 days' time we do see a whole bunch more stuff being added. Armour, clothing, maybe less AKs. And I want to point this out. This past week in TGG's collection, we had 14 AKs. I'm not joking. Scroll down, let's take a look at this real quickly. How many AKs did we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, scroll, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, scroll, MP5. 14 AK-47 skins. We do not need more AK-47 skins at the moment. We have more than enough. As I said, we are oversaturated with AK-47 skins. They tend to be not very good investments, and as you can see so far with this AK, it's only sold 7,000. You know, it's starting to get into people's heads that these aren't going to hold their value. It's not going to be very good. So let's just kind of avoid AKs and maybe get some more armour and clothing, please. We're in a drought. We need armour and clothing. So now let's go take a look at how all of these look in game. So Mr. Micro, I'm coming. Hello. How you doing? So we went through a bit of a mess there. My apologies. I had to answer a whole bunch of questions for people, and then we had some difficulties loading up again. My apologies to you, Mr. Micro. Your Highness, I see you are now royalty. No, I should be bound to you, sir. I should be bound to you, Your Highness, the King of Rust. Whatever happened to your hair?
Let's not go too far.
Okay. Well, playing on from that previous week, we're getting more and more silly things being added. And let me just point out, that's not the silliest, but we'll save that for later. Because, good sir, we were quite correct in assuming what might be accepted in the Rust store last week, because, ta-da! You were correct to bring up this. The garage door, the reinforced garage door. The reinforced collection continues, and we now have a glow-in-the-dark garage door. And if you recall, we did show this off as a nice example with the glow-in-the-dark dilemma situation in regards to doors, because plenty of doors will give away your position if you stand in front of them at night time. And so will shooting things give away your position, I guess. Don't shoot that at me. Alright. So, perfectly fine door. And Mr. Micro, I believe you had a very good opinion of this based on the fact that whilst we've seen many silly designs like, I guess you could say like Dragonhorn and Toxic Dragon, which are very fierce but quite silly in a way, but then you have the very wacky like rainbow pony sets and with all the colour and whatnot. This is a more realistic, down-to-earth, military. What's the term? Realistic military style garage door.
Yeah,
That's what we like.
It's definitely military or police, like special teams inspired. Yeah, I think the armored door was based on actually like a riot shield. So this sort of took that idea and expanded on it, but really did a lot to keep the theme. And I think he's working on trying to continue this, and we'll see what it looks like. We don't know yet, but the one thing, you know, criticism I could make is that doesn't really look like it's a salvaged kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of stuff in Rust looks salvaged. This looks really clean, you know, and it's a wonderful door design, but it's hard to fit it into the Rust theme. So, but that's not a complaint. It's just it's a different style, right? It's like the new generation of Rust. We're moving away from that really salvaged and scavenged kind of look to some things that are a little bit more military inspired or just sort of clean looking. And well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a step in that direction.
It's a different taste, you know. Some people don't like the super colourful. They prefer the more realistic tone. And there's plenty of people that are very vocal to say they don't like certain very colourful skins. So that's saying like the likes of, well, the glow-in-the-dark graffiti sets, I guess you could say. Did you? No. No. You never said you were going to do that. And how are you even able to do that?
What do you mean?
How? You are awful. I don't care if you're a king. You're an awful king. How could you do that to me? Anyway.
We were talking about it in the stream the other day.
No.
You gave me your
No.
You were fully aware of it.
I hate you so much. Anyway. Anyway, we've got some things to show off. So first of all, Mr. Micro, with what you're wearing, we have, and I should probably go plus so we can see this. I'll drop it on the ground. We have a quick look at it on the floor. Made a funny noise when I dropped it, but now we're over here. Ooh. Right. So, we have right here the, what's it called again? The antique. Sorry, I heard you going through the door. Because I guess you're trying to show off there. I guess we could look at you. It's a whole lot, but I was trying to get a good angle. So we have the... Oh, hang on a minute. My camera's not working. I might have to quickly pause. One sec. That's what was confusing me. Yeah. I didn't want to say it out loud, but this is... my camera's not working. One sec. Pause. Sorry about that. So the problem there was my camera. My camera wasn't working properly. So do you see how it moves ever so elegantly as I look up to see the king holding his antique rocket launcher? Very nice. Very cool. And at night. Wow. So this was an early pick, wasn't it? It wasn't around for long. It literally appeared earlier this week in the workshop. And wouldn't you know, it gets accepted. Very, very nice. Let's go over to this side. Very nice pose, Mr. Micro. Yes. Can I get up real close to see the extra detail? It's basically just a pillar from an old, old Greek pantheon. I guess that's the best way of putting it. So, Mr. Micro, do you happen to hold any? The way you just looked at me, then. Do you have any other weapons? That was freaky. Could you show off the two weapons we saw last week, the toxic bow and the semi-automatic pistol, if you happen to have them in your pocket?
Okay, we'll start with the bow then.
So we showed this off last week, didn't we? Very nice, simple design, as we can see. It's all nice and sort of like a gunky yellow, toxic, radioactive colour scheme and design. Very nice up close. Yeah, it'll probably do alright. It depends if people like this colour. And I don't think everybody likes pea yellow. Right, can we also get a nice quick look? Oh, from the side here. Sorry, I lagged a little bit there. What about if we do it at daytime? So in daytime, it stands out quite all right there. Can you pull out the pistol, please, sir?
Sure. Actually,
It's right there.
One.
It's on your pocket.
One thing in the background. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember which pocket it's in.
It's the right one. There we go. There we go. So again, the return of the JPEG set. Now, it's not too much of a surprise to figure out why this likely wasn't accepted last week. Took a quick break from it because last week we had the No Mercy semi-automatic pistol. I guess that got picked over this. Well, JPEG's immediately back, and now we've got this accepted. Because there is another JPEG weapon, isn't there? There's the SMG. That's currently in the workshop. But they stuck with this, so JPEG is continuing. We do have more on the way, and potentially we're going to see another one appearing in 2 days' time on Monday in the workshop. So let's just get a nice look at that. Let's just zoom out there. Yes, very, very nice. But we've already seen it. So, Mr. Micro, if you can, please, can you show off the new AK? So what's your opinion on this colour scheme? Because yes, it's very, very, very simplistic. It's got a nice retro sort of style to it. But I feel like it's just enough. Like, it's not too over the top. Very simple in its own way. But it stands out very nicely. It's got a very nice, simple design to it that I could appreciate. What about you, Mr. King? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's definitely vibrant and has potential for kind of complementing a number of sets while also, having a little bit in common or just being fitting with a number of different sets. We'll put it that way. I think it's maybe doesn't stand out from some other AKs that we've seen with like really intricate or really highly detailed modeling, but that's not a requirement. I think it has a good theme that flows across it. The color scheme works together with the shape of the gun, and it's got some interesting design elements to it. You could say it's simple because it's only a handful of colors in the palette, or you could say it's there's actually some cohesion to the design there, and some thought that went into it. So I think it's a well done skin. It's going to be interesting to see how it performs on the market. But
what one comment we saw earlier, if you play CSGO, it looks like cybersecurity, doesn't it? Cybersecurity M4. So not everybody will understand it, but if you play CSGO, it's very similar to that type of skin. Real quick question. Well, actually, we'll do the Python, then we'll stick to that question. Now, I see your question there, Speed Heat. We'll sort that out in a minute. He has a question about the garage door, but we'll focus this Python with a... Oh, is that an attachment? I was going to say, does it come with the flashlight? Yeah. Oh, it's disappeared.
Yeah, I was using that to light up the door earlier.
So, and again, a very nice, simple design. It's the first skin by I can't remember his name, GTX something. I'm very, very sorry. You're new. I don't remember your name, but we'll...
ST Face, I
think
his name was, or something like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, this is like his fifth or sixth skin that was even submitted to the workshop. And he got accepted, I would say, pretty quick, but it's a pretty well done skin. I mean, it's got custom normals, and it's got a pretty good design that fits the shape of the gun, and I think it's neat. So good on him. It was probably a feeling of success to get that first skin. It's got to feel real good.
We've had quite a lot of people recently that have had like their first skins accepted. Not too long ago, we had Hewok with the Fire Phoenix door. Now we got this guy here with his Python. I think there was another one, but I can't remember their name. But it's nice to see with more creative minds putting their works on the workshop. I mean, we're going to get more things like that crown. And now you are a rat for some reason. Just feel like the style.
I want to just try to put it into some kind of context where it's not super goofy looking, that I'm wearing my silly shirt and all that other stuff.
Okay, all right. I mean, Certainly do brush your teeth well, Mr. Micro. Right. So, was that all of the this week's weapons? Python?
I believe so.
Yeah, and unfortunately, no armor and clothing. Like we take that off. We have nothing. We deserve nothing. Go down to your underwear. We have nothing to show because please tell me. Okay, so you got bandages on this one. We have nothing to show in terms of armor and clothing. I already talked about it. It's a very depressing matter, but it's something we were predicting, wasn't it, Mr. Micro? With little options being given, Face Punch just isn't accepting them. So all we really have at the moment is some things that we found recently in the workshop, and the things that we can currently look forward to is the Skull Killer Tier 2 and the Black Gold Tier 2. That's all we have that came out somewhat recently. That's still hopefully going to be finished off soon, as in completed as a full set. So, what's he doing here? What's he pulling in? What's he got?
Well, you said the magic words, so
okay.
Did a little presto changeo.
Yeah, we still need some road sign kilt, don't we? So soon. No. Right. Sorry, that was really awkward. This is all we have that we can anticipate and look forward to. Skull Killer is doing very nicely. The clothing did kind of end up a bit oversaturated, didn't it? With quite a fair bit of excess purchases in comparison to the Tier 3. However, it is still looking to be perfectly fine, and there is still spike potential. If we do get that Tier 2 coming along, then all of this that you see right here will probably spike up in price again. Tier 3 spiked up in price when the clothing appeared, well then all of it right now could spike up again if we do get that Tier 2 appearing at some point in the near future. So you don't need to wear this right now, Mr. Micro. We have other things to discuss. So we talked about the deployables, the garage door. Oh, yeah, someone had a question, so let's just talk about that real quickly. Does it glow on both sides?
Yep, the UVs are shared and the textures are split, shared across both sides. So all garage doors show the same thing, front and back.
Yep, there you go. I like how it went ding, 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 ding. But there you are. It does glow on both sides. And if you were to stand in front of it right now, Mr. Micro, it is fairly strong. It's a bit of a dim light, but it still spans all across it. And yes, if someone were to stand in front of it, you can, in fact, still see him. So, let's try and figure our way around here and turn those back on. There we are. Wasting electricity is fun. Well done, Mr. Micro. We found you. So, with the JPEG app, the weapons, we have the pineapple furnace. Now, have you eaten your 5 a day, Mr. Micro? Oh, we've got a rocket on the floor, so oops, forgot about you. So yes, this has taken off quite well, hasn't it? A lot of people have been jumping in, wanting to buy this and use it. It does glow very nicely, doesn't it, I would say. Again, it doesn't necessarily glow, does it, when it's turned on? It emits a different light, different texture. We've been through this. There's a whole video talking about that. Do furnaces glow? No, but they do light up when you turn them on. But anyway, do you like the design of what we see here? Do you appreciate the work put into this ever so lovely looking pineapple furnace as it slowly cooks away the wood? It emits a very nice light showing off all of its spiny ridge bits. I don't know what those are called. The flaky. You know what a pineapple is. It's got that weird, like, it's like a big pine cone. I don't know how else to explain it. The bits all around it. Does anybody know the correct term? Is anybody here a fruit scientist? I'll turn you off for now.
The anatomy of a pineapple.
Yes, the pineapple. The pineapple. We're getting a lot of fruity and vegetable skins quite recently, aren't we? So I guess this is following that trend. What's next? I don't know. What could we probably see? Maybe a pine cone. I did just say that. We could have a pine cone. Now, if I were to just quickly take a look at all of these weapons real quickly. Do you notice how this Python has a bit of a weird aim sight? So let me just get in a better position. So if you were to see it just right, you might notice the actual tip has like 2 pink sides to the sides, and in the very middle it's like a sharp purple. It's quite helpful, but this reacts to light fairly quickly, so the very second you turn, now it's pure white. So it reflects light very easily. It can be a bit of a problem, and the colour, the way it kind of ends up, it kind of blends in with like the reds and the browns fairly easily, so it's not super helpful. Give that a quick shot. Shoot myself, I guess. And I'm dead. Cool. Now, we have this AK. Looking very nice. Nice design. I appreciate it a lot. It does look like a cybersecurity. You had a very good point there, Mr. Cheese. And over here, shoot. He's down. So, as you can see, it does have like a red aim sight. Stands out in most environments, especially the green wooded areas. Very nice and handy to have. Yep. Cool. Shoots well. Looks okay. But it's an AK skin. Can't rely on it, can we? We've got the bow. That's what it looks like. Press N. Give a quick look at that. Aim for the head. Right. Oh no. Got a headache now. Finished the job. Oh. I honestly didn't know you could do that. Is that like an admin thing, or the way that you got my head onto it?
No, that's a skin I submitted to the workshop. Go look at it.
Are you joking?
No.
I don't want to stream a skin. I'm not that vain enough. I don't have a good enough face to plant on top of a garage door. Just give me like a metal concrete. Give me like a concrete barricade or something. So yeah, this just has a. Shut up. This just has like a black aim sight. Nothing stand out. Nothing interesting. It's a very nice looking skin though. The lighting and it's perfectly fine. And then we've got this one, and this could easily finish the job. But I don't have any ammo, so give a nice quick look on this big old pillar. I like the thematic theme of it because there are a lot of what would you call them? What were they called? Barricades. But no, boom. What's the thing that you use to break down barricades? It's begins with B. Bombard. What am I trying to say? What's the big thing that you run into?
Battering ram.
Battering ram. Big pillar is a battering ram, which kind of does the same job as what you would do with the rocket launcher to break down walls. So I like the thematic design of it. But maybe we need a battering ram rocket launcher. And then we've got a very, very, very clear and obvious sort of joke rocket launcher skin then. So that's something just to throw out there. So, Mr. Micro, we've left these two for last. There is a... Go away, airplane. I don't want your goods. They're no good to me. So we've got a bit of a fun thing to talk about here because we are stuck. We are confused. We have no idea what's going on with these two. So if we just quickly explain and go over this. For the longest time, we've had that clothes storage over here, and we were anticipating that this was going to be expected at some point, potentially in the near future. Has a very, very nice design. I like how the font has all this patchwork on itself. A very clear, unique design choice to represent what this box is. And as we've seen many times in the past with the clothes storages, they have sold very, very nicely. They've done very, very well. And I honestly was expecting this to be one of the most in-demand and potentially most bought storages in the whole set. Unfortunately, it's just been kept back and held back for so long now that it's been 4 Rustle rotations. It's been 4 weeks and it still hasn't been selected. And as I mentioned earlier, Hulk passed on to TGG to point out that we're not seeing any more graffiti storages being made other than the electrical storage, which at the moment hasn't been finished just yet. So coal got picked over clothes, and are we just not having clothes? Are we finishing after electric? So is electrical coming after coal and then we're finished, we're done? What why aren't we getting clothes? What's wrong with clothes? I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why clothes is being neglected. Why is clothes not being picked? We just don't have any good ideas. Like, we have none. So, chat, I asked you earlier if you could think up of any fun or silly idea as to why the clothes storage hasn't been picked or won't be picked. So, do you have any ideas? Micro, do you have any?
I like Metatron's suggestion from the chat that perhaps Helk is a nudist and he just doesn't like clothing to begin with.
But it sells well. Clothes storage did sell quite well, and it ended up becoming a great investment in terms of like neon storage. It's one of the best-selling, more expensive storages in the set. Because it's purple. Is that the best answer you can think of? It's hardly purple. It's only purple round on the sides. You know, we've had much stranger colours. Coal's perfect for what it is. Nice greys, blacks, whites. It's perfect. This, yes, it's unique. It's every single storage had its own special colour design. You have to be able to distinguish between all of them. Helk bought 2,000 armour and wants 10 times the price back. That's a good one. Right, didn't know he was an investor. So that's not 100%. That's just me reading the silly comments from the chat. In fact, I'll quickly drag them over once more. So, oh, don't freeze on me now. I shouldn't have done this. There we go. Hello chat, how are we all? So, got a whole bunch of people watching me currently. We do this every Saturday. If you want to come in and ask some questions, we'll try our best to help you out. Or you can just sit back and relax and watch us yell about skins all day long. But yeah, this is a thing I do routinely. So if you ever want to jump in and catch up, I do this every Saturday, usually around 8 o'clock my time in the UK. So feel free to drop by if you ever want to. I usually have links and descriptions, links in my YouTube descriptions. Oh, sorry, I've been talking so much. There's quite a big gap from me doing the earlier bit and then loading in because we had some complications and we had to kind of start again. So here we are talking about these, and we just don't know what's going to happen with clothes from here and now. There is one very possible, plausible explanation, though, isn't there, Mr. Micro? And that is the potential to see complete the sets come back. So if you aren't aware, last year, 2 weeks in September of 2021, there were 2 weeks dedicated to completing the sets. So the whole 2 weeks were dedicated to, there was a whole bunch of collections that were quite fairly popular in Rust, but they had maybe 1 or 2 skins that weren't accepted over the time that they were being rolled out. Well, Complete the Sets was all about grabbing those skins and then bringing them into the Rust store at that time. So that was in 2021, and we saw a whole bunch of skins from like 2019, like 6 months before September 2021, several in 2020. It was like that. And potentially, we might see Complete the Sets coming again this year, and potentially, they might want to have a graffiti storage for it. It could happen. Maybe we'll see a scientific storage. Maybe we might see one of those neon storages that we saw. We had a whole bunch of mini neon storages, didn't we, Mr. Micro? Do you happen to have any of them right now, Mr. Micro? The mini...
in the box.
Okay, there's 3 boxes here. You're getting... What's in the box? Which box is it, Mr. Micro? One of them is booby trapped, and one of them has what we need. Oh, you're gonna make me do it?
I wasn't sure which ones you wanted to show. But
yeah. We can roll in.
On the market for this week, or I shouldn't say the market, on this workshop for this week is the Ducks Components box.
Yes.
And I also brought in the cards and the meds box just so we had something to compare it to and to say, well.
Sorry, you didn't get the joke.
Attempted.
Yeah, I'll roll into it. But you are correct. So earlier this week, we had the appearance of the comp storage, the mini storage, and a good fair few weeks, couple months ago, we had meds and card storage. So we did talk about this not too long ago when we were talking about the various different storage collections that are trying to get in. How would you do a small storage set? Like, to elaborate, what types of storages would be acceptable to be part of a small storage set? And from what we can see here, these are some fairly good answers. Cards. So people obviously are collecting cards to be able to complete the various puzzles at the monuments. It's not going to need a massive, huge box to itself, is it? A small box? Perfectly fine. Now over here with the med storage, again, you don't need a massive, massive amount of... Are you alright over there? You're just chilling out? Get comfy.
Watching what you got going on.
I mean, you could offer your opinion as well. Do you necessarily need a massive storage box purely for your med... Stop it! You do need your medicine. Come here, I'll stab you with the injection. You don't need tons of meds, do you, for a whole large box? Is it perfectly suitable to have a small
What you would
box
do with that is you would put it under your tier 3 and fill it with cloth and low grade, so that you can just grab, well, or under your workbench in general. It doesn't have to be your tier 3, but you know, that's
perfect.
kind of traditional or meta, if you want to say.
So that would have a great design sort of choice behind it because of what you just said, because it's always going to be under your tier 3 workbench. Perfect. That's a perfect answer. Now, components. Is that stretching it a bit if you're going to have it in a small box? Surely you're going to have tons and tons and tons of various bits of components. Or not? What do you reckon?
Maybe. I mean, there's some things that you could consider components that, you know, most of which would fit in a small box. So, you know, that could be like gears, springs, pipes, blades, stuff like that, which, you know, if you look at the assortment of things that you could have that would be considered components, I would say probably you could just about fill one of those boxes. And or let's see, propane tanks, gears, blades, pipes, springs, sheet metal, semi-auto bodies, SMG bodies, rifle bodies, road signs. Like that's pretty much a small box full of components right there. Maybe tech trash, maybe tarps. I don't know. I think you could, if you were in a early stage of the game, before you have enough frags to start building large boxes, or maybe you don't have space for large boxes, I think you know, early in the game, having a glowing small box is OP. Early in the game,
especially when you don't have
a lot of
electricity.
frags.
That's what we should clarify. When you don't have electricity early on in the early life of your base, glow in the dark boxes, perfect, great, super helpful. Technically kind of pay to win, but but yeah, that I just wanted to elaborate on that point, Mr. Micro, because you made a great point there. For many early stages with bases, having glow-in-the-dark deployables is going to help you out a lot, especially at night time when you have no light sources. So thank you.
A lot of times I don't even use electricity when I play.
Oh,
I mean, I have a bunch of really elaborate circuits that I use, like crop irrigation timers and battery operated lights that turn on and off with, like, when the sun comes up. And you know, there's a good website actually called Rustrition where you can practice circuits outside the game and, you know, save your circuits that you've made so you can re-implement them in the game. So that's actually a really handy tool. I've spent probably hundreds of hours working in just electrics in the game, but believe it or not, you can get on a server, be playing in prim and tier 1 phases, and really you haven't gotten all the components to build electric. You rely on getting a lot of stuff, anywhere from solar panels to generators to windmills, which are like basically tier 2 items. You could loot them, but you know, you have to go to monuments to do that. But then all of the other stuff that goes with it, like switches and root combiners and electrical branches, all of that stuff is stuff you have to find and unlock blueprints for if you want to start using it and making circuits. So electricity isn't until probably the middle of tier 2, and after, you know, you've gotten a couple hundred scrap, you've definitely fleshed out your base with storage and, you know, honeycombing probably by the time you're really implementing like a full-on electric throughout your base. So glowing deployables always have a place. And plus, during a raid, someone takes out your power sources. Like, not everybody has like backup power wired in with like crossover batteries in opposite ends of their base. Believe me, there's a lot of elaborate ways to use electricity, but like not everybody goes to that level and extreme of outfitting themselves like that. So even throughout tier 3, if you're getting raided, you don't have electricity. So that's and a reminder that during, what people do during a raid is target your electric system so that your turrets shut down and your lights shut down. That's like part of raiding. So glowing deployables are always OP, and it's not just early game, but they're especially effective early game when you have literally nothing. So getting back on track,
So good.
the comps box I think is the perfect size for early game when you don't have multiple stacks of pipes and springs. I mean, you could definitely fit all the components that you need for crafting most items in a small box, and I think that's a perfect design to target, a perfect theme to target for a small box. Considering cards and meds didn't get in, if you were going to try to submit a small box for something, I think comps is a absolutely perfectly fine suggestion, because you could also put that under your workbench in a similar way and just have that handy, for crafting. You've got all your stuff right there, right next to the workbench. So
Splendid. So I don't think these are the only storages that we have. Do you know what? We could potentially see these in complete the sets as well. I think cards has a very good shout, and meds. I think cards is probably the best bet. Do you remember earlier when I talked about how the fuel storage from the scientific set is actually stonking fairly nicely? Because it's very unique. It's the only storage that is themed around fuel storage. So random alternate different boxes probably are going to prosper fairly nicely. I remember with the scientific set, they wanted to do like scuba gear and whatnot, which actually would have done very nicely, I'm sure. Again, it's a niche, but there's definitely people that would have appreciated it. So
scuba gear is good.
Scooby.
Snack. Did I say that?
You said Scooby.
Sorry.
Scooby.
I've driven Subarus for most of my life. We call them Subies. So maybe I said that. I don't know.
I thought you wanted the Scooby snack or something. So good.
Scuba gear doesn't stack well,
Doesn't
right?
it?
So if you got a group of 4 guys and you need 4 diving suits, well, that's a large box full of stuff right there.
Yeah.
On the other hand, low grade fuel on vanilla, you don't ever really accumulate so much of it that you even really need a box so much. You could just chuck a tuna can lantern on the wall and throw a bunch of low grade in that. So there's places to keep your low grade that don't rely on having a storage box dedicated to it. But I've played on like PvE servers or modded servers where you do accumulate stuff very quickly, where you might want to have a box dedicated for fuel. So that would be, I'd say, the primary target or customer for the low grade box would be someone who's more of a modded server player or a PvE style player. But some of these smaller boxes would be more appropriate or more useful because there's an application for them on vanilla gameplay too.
So, Mr. Micro, I don't think these are the only boxes that we had. We had some more, didn't we? We have we've got a very interesting glow in the dark box, don't we? I don't know where you put it. That's why I'm asking you. Where did you put it?
Yeah. Well, they're over here in this group here. So
Place them down if you can.
I guess if we're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about the Hellgate box.
Yes. I'm hiccuping. Sorry. So over here we have the Hellgate box.
Do I have the name of that right?
Yes, it's part of the Hellgate collection because there's a Hellgate armoured door which appeared earlier this year, but only now we seem to be continuing it. I think there might have been more in the workshop over time, but now we're going back onto it. So if I turn it to night time, we're bam.
Well, there's definitely some context that you could give to frame that situation. I mean,
Sure thing.
a very, very long time now, we've been seeing box like storage sets. We've been continuing these themes back to back. Basically, we move off of one storage set, move on to the next. And recently, the decree was made by the great and powerful Hulk that we're taking a break from large storage sets. We're gonna see probably at least a month, according to TGG's report. I think I would expect it to be more than that before we go to the next set of storage boxes. But this is the perfect opportunity for some individual theme and designs to come through, which is something we used to see quite often. In fact, the most large boxes that have been accepted are just individual standalone themes, or maybe they do match a set. Like Sunrise has a door and a box, and like so that's not uncommon to see, or it used to be more common than it is now. And it'll be refreshing to return back to a time where we have some boxes that are themed to go with other deployable sets, and not, or maybe just standalone boxes as they are, and not something that's meant to be part of a long set of box sets.
So one minor
Variation.
criticism I have for this is: do you reckon this should have been held back for October, spooky month, or do you reckon it's interesting enough?
Yeah, I don't think it's really Halloween related.
All right, that's
I
cool.
think we're gonna see lots of other Halloween themed stuff. I mean, I guess you could identify some spooky kind of, like, I think the way these chains and the metallic piece in the front give it sort of like a gothic look, which always kind of conjures up ideas of Halloween and spookiness. But
It kind of just looks
and
like a
it's kind of
cartoony
orange.
mascot, like something that you just use for advertising. Like not to discredit it. It's not super seriously spooky. It's just fun, wacky,
Yeah,
Hellgate.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't when I look at it, I don't immediately think of like Halloween or spookiness, but I guess I see your point. I mean, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
I think this stands a pretty good chance to be in the running for selection. I don't make any decisions. I don't have any influence on
Well,
decisions.
you've been fairly
I'm
correct
here.
recently, haven't you?
Well, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so I do have kind of
The man
a
has
feel
an
for it.
eye
But
for quality.
well, this certainly ticks all the boxes for what the criteria for acceptance, and
Was that a
it's part
pun?
of an existing set. That ticks all the boxes. Yeah, not intended. Sorry about that.
Shall we take a look at these doors that you have right next to you?
Sure. Well, these we actually could talk about that. We had some other boxes we were thinking about.
Sorry. Did you want to look at the other boxes then? My apologies. I thought that was the only box. Well, I thought it was these and that. Good sir.
We prepared for this. Let's go. Let's put the boxes down.
Oh.
This guy, which I was really confused when I saw this, right? We had the decree go out, no more storage sets, and then we saw this bad boy.
Yes, right. So there's a lesson to be learned here. You've got to keep your ears open. You've got to be aware of what's going on at the moment, because we're led to believe this is a not as very inexperienced guy that was just trying to make a new like storage collection, but he wasn't hearing the gospel, the word of Helk, and he went ahead and made a set regardless. Maybe he was already making it and then they put the word out and he just felt the need to finish it off. I don't know 100%. But yeah, this is your fairly standard like box. Put pictures of the weapons on the side, make it a colour, and then they're probably going to copy and paste the design to various different ones with different colours and whatnot. Like, we've seen a lot of these, haven't we? We talked about it a good 3-4 weeks ago. We had a whole bunch of them, and we went over about how I like to see a special, unique design based on each of the storages. When you look at coal, I see burning cinders and flame. It's all black and white, because of coal. Perfectly fine, but the cinders all around the font and whatnot, and then when I look at the clothing, it's all sewn together and patched up and whatnot. There's a fun design for every single graffiti storage where they add an extra little bit to the font itself. They used an extra a big dollop of creativity with the design of graffiti in itself. So that is a plus one. That is what I like to see. When you see a lot of things like this, they tend to be fairly cut and paste. They'll change the name, they'll change the colour, they'll change the pictures on the side, and they'll keep everything the same. So I don't want to sound mean, because again, you know, we've got Neon Storage over here, which is pretty much just a different name, different colour and whatnot, but that just happened to be first. That just happened to be the first one to be accepted. And yeah, but from now on, you've really got to try and take it up another level and stand out. That's what I liked about the transparent set. So that's just my opinion, though. You know, that's my opinion. I'm not like a curator, but if I were to be someone who had to curate, that's just one of the things I'd keep in mind from now on. Other than that, I do like the design of it. It's a very nice sort of streamlined, bolted down. Yeah, it's cool. I do like it. It's just I can anticipate that not being accepted based on what I've said. We need something extra special.
It's just a bit of a shame, you know, and it's like the guy did a really nice job, and he just had like the absolutely wrong timing for that. So.
Yes, just happened to be the wrong timing. So if he wants to continue it, if this is your minimum viable product, you know, if this is just the prototype, fair enough. You did a very good job here so far, but maybe tweak it a bit more. Maybe, again, I'm not the curator, but just throwing ideas out there. We did a long talk about these a good 4 weeks ago, so I don't want to go over talking about boxes for an hour again, Mr. Micro. We need to continue. Do we have another box? I think we have another.
We do have another box.
Oh.
I'm just looking at the author's workshop here. He does have other accepted works.
Oh, does he?
He has a Dead Man's Chest, the Pirate Hut wood door,
all right,
double pirate door.
Okay.
So he knows what he's doing. He just doesn't. It's been a while since he's had anything accepted, and it looks like he's been working on some other games. He actually does skins for CS:GO, Dota 2, and he has items for Killing Floor 2.
So it looks
so
the best
active skin maker.
The best answer we could give is he probably wasn't super informed with what was going on at the moment. So he made this, and he probably didn't know that Help said no more storage collections for a while. So yep. Lesson learned. Always keep an ear out. Yeah. And what do we have over here?
Mr. Metatron was thoughtful to ask to see my collab for this week, actually, for just by luck of the timing. Like, I was doing that armored door with Morphus last week, and we didn't see it coming, you know, that they were going to not be doing box sets. But it just was like the week he said no more box sets, it just so happens this is the skin we did. So it's like, I really got lucky with that. But we'll see. I mean, if you're curious, I did the glow here. Morphus did the 3D work, and he did the texturing. I baked the glow on there. So
I made a bit of a joke, didn't I?
I did the thumbnails, and I did the in-game screenshots, and yeah. So it's a pretty cool collab. I'm happy to work with Morphus. He's a great artist, and he's had a couple skins accepted. So.
I like it. I do want to say that I do like it, but what was that joke I said? Because Zen Labs is like one of the in-game companies that we see around on the map and whatnot. There's a lot of them, aren't there? I don't know all of them. Like there's the shipping company, there's the boating company and whatnot. God, what's the other ones called? Do you know the names of the other ones?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's Cobalt.
Yes, Cobalt.
And then there's like there is another. Gee, what is the other?
Yeah, I know, it's annoying. I could remember them, and then I instantly forgot them all.
There's not that many. There's right.
I'm sure quite a lot of you know. Chat, do you know of the in-universe companies that get shown off around and all the maps? You see them on like the monument buildings and whatnot. Like it's a fun design, because I was making a joke that you probably need to make a storage collection for all of the companies. No collections.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, we have. I guess I forgot about this. We have Morexo.
Lazarus Shipping Company. That's another one.
I'm not positive about that.
Are you correct, Cheese? Yeah. Well, continue.
Yeah. There's not that many.
Yeah.
There is one other shipping company. All right, we're gonna have to go look. Only way to find out.
So you do that, and I'll just say, as you can see, this is a standout design. You might have seen many times in various different skins, whether it's a deployable or not. Oh, he's disappeared.
Train yard. I flew back over to train yard because I know there's a bunch of shipping containers over here.
So
I could send you a screenshot if you wanted to, but
it's all right.
It's
It's
only
all
like
right.
2 or 3.
This is we like designs like this. It is unique, and it helps like build up the in-universe feel of what we see around on the map and whatnot. So Zen Labs is one of the companies that you do see a lot of in game. They're not like what's the term, like you're allowed to make skins like this. There's no real like repercussions.
Yeah,
like
no, we have Cobalt skins already. We have Zen. We have a Zen Lab skin already. So, there's nothing wrong with it doing it this way.
What was the garage door? That's very expensive because you can see through it, and that was a special shipping company, wasn't it?
It's global, but I think
global.
Stabby's design.
Yes.
I don't think that's actually in game. At the time we were talking about it, I was suspicious. Like I was sort of remembering like maybe it was, but I don't. Now that after a while of thinking about it, I'm pretty sure that that's something he came up with.
Ah. Speaking of Stabby, I just remembered. Did you remember that special rug he made? That was very coincidentally made. Can you put it on the wall, sir? Because last week I was making a joke about how we need to start using rugs like decorations, like something you put on your wall, because it's already happening in game, isn't it? You probably have tons of rugs on your wall so you can get all the comfort. Well, Stabby did this. American Gothic rust picture. So I like the design of that. Oh, there's a big thing in the way.
Yeah, what is that shadow? I don't have that on mine.
Yeah, I do.
I'll put it.
It's weird. Put it on the floor, I guess. It's a rug.
Yeah, I don't have another good place to put it.
Yeah, just put it on the floor. I look at it from O.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is technically.
Stabby, we have to put your beautiful creation.
He dropped it on the floor. What did you do, Micro? You dropped it on the floor.
Believe it or not, Stabby used this server we're on right here to make the screenshots.
So, American Gothic rust style. And that's perfect. That is technically a rug, so you can put it anywhere on the floor, on the sides, on the ceiling. It doesn't matter. But this is perfect for what I was talking about last week. We need to start seeing rugs kind of being presented more like a picture. And perfect. You could not ask for any better representation. So, if you don't get the joke, it's like the American Gothic picture of the farmers just standing still, like. He's even holding the pitchforks. That's perfect. I like that a lot. Standing in front of the big monument there. Yep. So, sorry, mumbled a bit there. Blah blah blah. Shall we now look at the doors, Mr. Micro? Because I know you want to show off these doors. Oh God, no.
You want to do like our own version
no.
of American Gothic? Come here.
Not American enough.
Come here.
Can I just say I hate America.
Hedge, when you die, please tell me you're going to do something more badass than go, You got to do something gangster.
Can you pull this out? Thank you.
All right. I'll throw it up in the air. Let's see what happens.
You almost destroyed Stabby's picture. You threw it on the ground and now you're already starting to break it. No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Show the doors.
Actually, it does a lot of damage. Wow.
Yes, I'm well aware. You just threw it into me. So, what do we have over here? It's the... Stop playing with the sharp weapons. Day and night, correct?
Yes, sir.
Day and night deployables. So, good. How long ago was it? We had the... this is the day and night small box that came out...
Ooh, that's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's been out for
for a long time.
2-3 years. So during the day, it's all nice and nice and daytime.
It's October 2020 that came out.
Whoa. Is this the first day and night skin he's done since then, or have there been a fair?
No, he did actually a ton of them.
Oh, that's sad.
So this is the same guy who did a cumulative pig. His Steam handle is Sadist.
And then want to make it daytime? Say it's daytime now. If you were to look,
I think this is a cool idea.
If you look really up close, you can sort of see the part which glows. But hey,
you're in sort of an open shade situation. If you were in like direct sunlight, you really don't see that contrast there. And
so
I'll put the box out here to compare.
Oh yeah, you can't see that. You cannot see that at all. And then nighttime, ta-da, perfect. So yeah, just imagine. Well, you can still see it. Like if I were to stay away from it for a while, yeah, you can still see that perfectly, reasonably fine. So yeah, that's a great use of glow in the dark. I like the design of that. It's a wood door skin, but I still appreciate it. Now, Mr. Micro, we also have this other sheet metal door over here. If you can quickly close it, because I'm in my cinematic view. I like the design, like straight up. It's not too like intricate. It's fairly simple. I just don't know how to explain what this design is. But anyway, we shall turn it to dusk, and you start to notice it as it slowly appears, and then full nighttime. If we could turn the lights off, please, sir. Ta-da! Now that looks very pretty. Very nice. Very nice contrast of colours.
A killer job on this door. This is a killer door.
What is the door's name? My apologies to ask.
This is called the Zenith door by Legacy.
No,
I can't believe I said it. Ideal. They
So,
both have full caps names and a special character in their name. So
it's all good.
I just did a little mental association thing there.
Okay.
But yeah, this is such a cool door, I think. I mean, it's got a mixture of like geometric design and like this organic
Stand in front of it.
So it's really got a nice soft glow that's well baked, and it's not really this super bright. I mean, it does sort of basically illuminate the whole door, but it's in a like low key kind of way. Like what I mean by that is like it's not this really brilliant, bright, ultra glowing door. It is more subtle and more subdued. So it's sort of strikes a balance between some of the really brilliant, glowy stuff we've seen and some of the more toned down things. I think this the day and night door, it also does a really great job of having sort of a minimalist glow while still having a pleasing and aesthetic design. And
it's a very good job of it.
Yeah, the change between the stars and the sun rays. I think that's just, it's such a clever idea. And this the lighting on this Zenith door is also very nicely done. It's got a nice.
It's your favorite type of glow. You like it when glow's used appropriately and stylistically, and tastefully. You love that. Tastefully, yeah. That's the best way of putting it, yeah. So good job there, Mr. Ideal. Dude critiquing doors like Gordon Ramsay. Gravity? Gravity, that's the whole stream. We like skins. Is that such a problem? I'm an investor. I have to keep an eye out for what potentially might get accepted. There's nothing wrong with that. Such
I don't think we have enough
mean chat
to be Gordon Ramsay level.
No.
I'd rather see myself like the Guy Fieri of Rust skins, like taking you to the flavor town of Rust.
How about you show off your flavor town?
I have the haircut. I don't think I have the haircut.
I was gonna say that. They should have that for a Halloween thing. Do you want to show off these clothing and armor pieces that you found if you're going to talk about Flavor Town, Mr. Micro? Yes. How about we close the door? So go hide it, and then we'll just see it.
Flavor. We could also go to Town.
Yeah. So we'll hide you for now. I mean, some people.
Put them on together, or
I've already got armor on. People have already seen some of the armor I was wearing. They probably haven't properly seen it, but I want you to wear it, and I want us to start talking about it because we've said this many times.
I have a whole stack of weapons too, of continuations that we haven't shown yet.
I do have them, and I will show them off for my own view, but how about we get them, get a look of you holding them first, and I'll look at them afterwards. So are you nice and ready, Mr. Micro?
Actually, give me 1 second. I have to
Staring at the door.
I have to get
Staring
pretty.
at the door.
Okay, I am so pretty right now.
Wonderful. If only his hair was blonde.
You could turn on the stage lights. Actually, I'll do it. I got the Rust Plus app at my fingertips.
Watch this. It's like magic. I didn't even do that. A very technological man. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Micro.
Look down at the bottom and lift where it says lift here on the garage door.
So I'm looking at the floor. Now I look at you.
Well, there's no.
I've already looked. I've already looked.
You missed my joke, but
I'm sorry. What did you want to say?
The garage door says lift here on it, so that was all.
Oh, oops. There you go. Perfect. So, Mr. Micro, you have inflatable armor, and you are now also a furry. Would you like to explain yourself? Would you like to explain yourself, Mr. Micro? What is this lifestyle that you're living at the moment?
Well, there's, living that furry life, man.
Okay. So, let's just elaborate and reiterate the point that we've been saying for these past few weeks. We have no armour and clothing. We have no armour and clothing, as in new stuff. So, we've looked, we've had to look around, and well, now we've got this. We've got the wolf hoodie and pants. We did actually show off something fairly recently, didn't we? Wasn't there like a wolf tier 3 armour that we had to look at not too long ago? I swear we looked at that. Was it? No, it was wolf. It was Iron Wolf, wasn't it? Something like that. Anyway, I'm not fully against it. Like, I do like how the texture has had quite a decent amount of effort to make it look like that's all nice and fluffy. Again, it is a 2D. This is 100% like a 2D texture. But he's done a decent job to make it look like it's... Oh, well, yeah, there's a tail there. Oh, wonderful. There's a tail right there. You don't need to turn around, please. I don't want to learn too much about this. I'm sorry to say, but I could just imagine loads of people are going to call this the furry set. But then again, it might sell well because maybe we have a lot of furries.
I mean, we have a number of role player sets, right? We've got the bee set, we have the cow set, we have the ladybug set, we got the police set. I mean,
maybe not that type of role player, but yeah, sure, maybe. Now, that's not the only hoodie and pants, is it? Oh, we got a ball now, do we? Let's how about we go to the right side?
Just switching it up, because if you're gonna be dressed as an animal, you might want to kind of pair it with some other type of animal type vibe. And remember, we have a pet update on the horizon. They're doing a lot of work. If you give your eyes on the commit logs, they have like 3 different dogs, one of which I believe is a German Shepherd. They have
Micro. We don't want to become the dog.
Well, I mean...
Oh no, there's going to be people pretending to be pets. No. Oh,
Just wait till they have the leash in here. And then they have a plug-in that you could use it on other people. This is going to be... The whole... Rust is going to get... the deviant population in Rust is going to start to grow.
Yeah,
I mean that in a good way.
Okay, let's
Diversity is beautiful, Hedge. Come on.
How about we start showing...
embrace each other's differences.
If you want to talk diversity, I'm going to look at the ground again. How about you get nice and set up showing off what the other hoodie and pants represents? I'm sure you know what I'm implying. So you get yourself nice and set up there. How about if I... So I'll get you nice and set up. So, yeah, we've not seen that much in the workshop recently because, well, there's just not enough hoodie and pants to be introduced, not enough tier 3, not enough Tier 2. There was no Tier 2 shown off this week, was there? No, none. So if you looked at the likes of TGG's collection, we mentioned this earlier, 14 AK skins, hardly any armour. Or rather, the armour was already accepted. So, what do? What do you do? And I'm looking at the comments, and they're not very happy with what they just saw, what we talked about. And Mr. Meta is now saying, imagine getting stuck with a Chihuahua dog skin that couldn't be changed. I mean, I'm sure loads of people would actually find that very funny. Mr. Micro.
That would actually be funny, just because, like, you know, you have your, your character in game is tied to your Steam account, and there's no changing that, you know?
Mr. Micro, are you ready? Are you nice and set up for the next hoodie and pants?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let her rip. Lift here.
Okay. I think you're taking it a bit too far now. What the hell are you now? What are you now, Mr. Micro?
I'm role playing as a tree. Come on, man. Spirit of role playing.
And this collection's called?
This is the Birch set.
It's so silly. How about you try... Are you one with the trees now, Mr. Micro? Where are your leaves?
Mm-hmm.
Where are your leaves?
That's true. I wish they need to implement like a sway emote.
Do you know what? If they had the helmet have leaves, maybe that would work. How about you hide behind...
Oh, that's a good idea.
I know, I'm very creative.
Shoes that look like roots, like brown shoes. Like
oh, that would be smart. That would be smart, yeah. So
this is me doing my tree dance. I'm swaying in the breeze.
Yes. So let's just get a real quick look at that. Kind of looks like, if anything, with you dancing and me looking at that properly, it's more a case of you look like a basket case. And that's a double entendre.
It's got it's got the basket weave kind of thing going on with the birch bark.
Yeah.
Double entendre.
You look like a weaved thing, so
you know
it's cool.
This is an interesting set. I'm not sure I agree with all the green that's on there. I mean,
yeah, I could do without the green.
Different shade or some variation to it. But I could see on the workshop page that the creator of this put in an astounding amount of effort into the design of the material. Like this is, this is maybe a detail that could be a whole talk in and of itself. But like part of skin making is applying textures to your items, and some of those textures are like they're some people use free textures, some people use store-bought textures. You know, you can get various texture packs and materials online in various forms. Just by using certain pieces of software, you're authorized to use some of their like built-in sort of freeware textures. And some people go and make their own textures. A few months back, we saw a garage door with some leaves on it that were the material that was used, like the texture that was made for that skin was literally crafted by the author. And the same is true for this birch material. It was hand created in texturing software specifically for the skin. So that's a unique length that not everybody goes to when they make a skin like this. And then he's got on top of that sort of that sculpting to give it the woven look. You know, it has sort of a simple appearance to it, but there's actually a lot that goes into something like this. So it's impressive on the technical note, if not just sheer cleverness. But interesting. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this one. And I also find it interesting he chose the red color, for the undershirt, because that is...
Yeah, I would have gone with grey. It doesn't blend well. I think he should have not added the green. He should have made it all birch colour, and he should have made that grey, because it doesn't really help it. If you want, could you just wear the armour, because we don't have any other armour. That's probably going to stand out better. So if you can just show yourself, you clown. What do we have here? So who is this made by?
This is done by Mr. Bad Trip, who is the author of the Black Gold set.
Yes.
And I know everyone's mouth for the Black Gold continuation, and everyone had their eyes on the workshop for this week, and everybody was ready at Monday when the skins come out. And what do they see? Not
This.
Black Gold.
Not Black Gold. No, we got.
But no, I don't mean to say that it was a letdown. I think this is actually a cool set, and I think it was a intelligent and strategic move by the author here to time his submissions for like his best items to be in aligned with our monthly content update. So in between there, we see creators submitting some more creative sets, something maybe pushing the boundaries a little bit, just like we've seen the cat on head skin. We saw the froggy bandage head wrap. You saw in the intro I was wearing that bucket hat crown thing, and we have another bucket helmet that we're going to show in a little bit. So I think right now, like third week of wipe, we're seeing some of the more creative side of skin making and the more adventurous types of things, rather than something that's going to be like a definite home run. So
we did need more.
That being said, yeah, what's that?
We did need more. Like, I'm happy at least that he's tried for something different. Like, every year, we usually have at least one wacky sort of armor piece. We had Brony one year, we had Rainbow Pony another year. It doesn't hurt. We had the bee stuff one year as well. So, it's okay. I'm not against it. I know some people are definitely going to like this for what it is. Some people will appreciate it. Quite a lot of people might hate it. But it's different, He went super serious with the Black Gold set. Let him have some fun. Because he's probably not going to have... He's pairing it up with this now, is he?
Skull Killer. Rotating through some stuff I have in mind.
Yeah, actually stands out quite nicely with that. It's pretty good. But, it's very likely that we're not going to see Black Gold maybe until the wipe day, because that's what's happened for the past two instances with the other core pieces. So that very likely could happen. So, yeah, it's not a bad thing that he's trying something out, trying something new, just to see if it could happen. And I'm happy. We need to see more stuff being added. If it's crazy, it's crazy. If it's silly, it's silly. If it's serious, it's serious. But I've just seen a furry suit, a tree, and a bouncy castle, right? Okay. I wouldn't mind if we had a bit more. Now, there was another one. There was like a dragon one, but I don't think that one has a good chance. I'm sorry to have brought it up, Mr. Micro. But, I don't think Face Punch is happy with green coloured skin sets, are they? We showed off Emerald like 2 months ago, which looked very cool, but it was never accepted. Like it honestly looked like there's nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't accepted. And we did show it off in another Saturday Skin Showcase. I mean, we didn't upload that one to YouTube. That was before I even bothered doing that. But Face Punch is kind of being odd at the moment. Like, they didn't want to accept the version 2 pieces of Target. They didn't want to accept the version 2 pieces of Renegade. What's going on? Maybe they're kind of keeping note of some things, and we might see them for complete the sets. I saw Mr. Micro there using Glister hoodie and pants there a minute ago. We're still waiting for Glister Tier 3. Oh.
That was my fur suit, sorry.
Yeah, don't shave yourself and throw it at me. Oh. Anyway.
The thing is, it's dirty. It's disgusting.
No, it's disgusting.
You need to go to the cleaners, big time.
So yeah, Tier 3 Glister was still needed to complete the full set. And we do need like a toy hoodie and pants. There's some collections out there that still needed those final pieces to finally finish themselves. But unfortunately, it never came. And Face Punch just never accepted them. Here you go. It's the Dragon Scale set, correct? Do you think that's too much? Let me have a good look. This goes nighttime.
It's called Dragon Hunter.
Dragon Hunter.
And I'm pairing this with the Emerald hoodie and pants, which we saw actually a few months back.
Like 2 months ago.
In our, let's see, I have it marked as July 9th we did that one. So.
Wow.
Well, it was really the July 7th store rotation.
So yeah, it's cool. but yeah, that emerald clothing wasn't accepted, and I'm just not really sure how Face Punch is going to react to this. I'm under the assumption they don't want green sets anymore. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So, daytime.
I mean, would you call this like sort of I don't want to. The only thing I could think of is sort of like Aztec or Inca or something like that.
I
but
guess
it's really
you could
not.
say that.
I don't know what you'd call it.
Is it trying to be
like,
Monster Hunter? I guess.
And it's almost got sort of a tribal kind of feel,
which
but
would be Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you would call this, and I'm not sure that it really feels like it fits the game.
Yes.
But, you know, that same thing could be said for so many skins that get in that I don't think that's a defining, like, characteristic that has to be there for it to get accepted. So, Helk accepts what Helk likes, and that's perfectly fine. And if we could read his mind, and if we knew, like, the secret formula, then everyone would abuse that. So he's got to sort of keep us guessing. And that's one of the things about Rust is there's no sure things ever in Rust. So this could easily get accepted, or it could easily get sent to the depths of where all the passed up skins go.
So if you could just get yourself ready to have all the weapons to showcase, I'm just going to take a look at the what is it? The blood and ice. What's it called? The carpet and the sleeping bag. What's it called again? Oh, so old. I've forgotten the name of the rug.
Oh, the rug. Yeah, that's called the Blood and Fire.
So this came out quite some time ago, didn't it? Looks very nice. It was accepted. Very cool design. Well, lo and behold, look what's randomly appeared quite recently. I do not have permission to put that there. No, I do.
That rug is from May 2019.
Yes. Now we have a continuation with the ever so lovely looking sleeping bag. Yes. Now it doesn't glow, does it? Nope. So, you know what? That's fine. We've had 2 glow-in-the-dark sleeping bags in a row. I would like to see just a nice, good old plain, very good design being accepted. And I did kind of say that with the Fire Phoenix sleeping bag. There was a glow version, there was a non-glow version. That wasn't accepted. Neither was. So now we have this. And I'll be honest with you, with how well that did, the rug, I'd very much like to see this being accepted. Can't go wrong. Look at it. It's cool. Now, I also happen to be holding on to a bunch of weapons, so let's just bring those up. First of all, if we got the antique rocket launcher finally being accepted, I thought I should just quickly show off the other pieces of the set that we've seen over time.
I think that's very validating to see. You know, a couple weeks ago we showed the hammer, and then, you know, because we just identified it as being sort of a standout. I don't know if you'd say standout, but it was just a well done skin that makes use of all the different maps, well, aside from an emission map, but it's nicely crafted, and we showed it on our stream, on our showcase, but you know, it wasn't accepted. And then last week we saw the SAR, and I had that on the list, so I don't think we did show it because it's not a continuation, or wasn't at the time, but now it actually is worth showing, because these are parts of the set that, you know, were passed up at first, and then we saw the rocket launcher. So if Helk decides to run with this set, we already have 2 pieces that might be eligible, and they're well done.
Right, so we've got the JPEG SMG here. I was actually expecting the JPEG SMG this week, but nope, we've immediately gone back to the SAP. So 2 SAP skins concurrently in 2 weeks, which is fine. So here we are. Nice, nice, nice. Got a quick look at that. Nope, let's get more in the light. Stand over here, get in the nice light. And again, it's just a black tip aim sight. Yep, right on the nose. Thank you very much, SMG. And then next we have a very, very nice design for a double barrel shotgun. I like this a lot. I'm going to have a quick look around now. I'm going to jump in and do just that, because Little Ranger's done a very nice job to bring out the Dragon for the Dragon Rage double barrel shotgun. I like this a lot. I think it looks very good. Oh, shouldn't press die. Sorry about that. So yeah, I feel like that's probably one of the best designed double barrel shotgun skins we've had in a long time. But Dragon Rage has kind of been like that for most of the weapon skins, just by adding this very cool looking dragon design to the bow. What else did we recently have? We did have the Thompson, but that was never accepted, which is sad. But yeah, I look forward to this. I could definitely see that selling for maybe $3. And we'll just... oh, come on. Oh, sorry. And as you can see, it has like a weird metallic red tip. It's not really going to stand out too much, is it?
That's something we should cover. I don't know if that's worthy of its own segment or anything, but we should mention double barrels all have that sight.
Oh, do they?
All, yeah, that sight is applied.
Oh.
That's not actually able to be modified. So, you know, they all get that.
I didn't know that. That's something I've learned. We're all learning today. So, goodbye, Hedge. Oh. No! Alright, you get to live today. I don't have enough ammo. Now, what's this?
I knew I couldn't trust you with that, so
Mr.
I will give you one shell. Here, look at a standard double barrel. You'll see that's like basically the default sight on that Dragon Rage DB.
Oh, yeah. It is. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know you couldn't texture that. Well, I guess that's just the way it is. So
there's actually many technical challenges with many skins in Rust, and the authors have to work around them. One of them, like the Thompson, the sight is repeated. You know, those UVs are used elsewhere, so you have to make sure your design works for those parts of the weapon where the same texture appears in two spots. Same thing with the road sign jacket. Like that particular skin reuses UVs in several places, and that's one of the challenges that Bad Trip has with making that set like work as with the theme, you know, with the rest of the set. Like he's actually got to work around some of those technical limitations. So that's one of the things that was holding him back, he told us.
This is the Velocity SMG, if I'm correct. Nice purple, red, blue. Very nice design. Made by Mr. Verona, if I'm correct.
That is the Vortex SMG.
No! Shh! I've got that mixed up. I can't believe I've got that.
Yeah, you do have the author correct.
I have the author correct. I got the name wrong. Oh my. So can we elaborate? This is the Vortex SMG. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, hey, I did it earlier too, so...
Okay. We'll just move on to the next one. This is the Steampunk...
Sorry, Ideal.
Yeah,
sorry.
My apologies. Steampunk SMG. Now, who made this? I don't remember the name.
I brought this in because this is an existing skin that we got probably 2 years ago.
Oh.
I forget the date. This is made by Diaz. And yeah, we got an AK. So I brought this in for reference because you should have the AK.
Oh, that's what that was. I was confused there was an AK there for some reason. Alright. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I instantly like it. That's an interesting design. Hello, Mr. AK. Let's give you a nice reload.
You're not showing any of the third-person views. I got them all lined up over here too.
Yeah.
You want to do that all?
I'm just doing all the stuff with myself now, and then I was going to get a good look with you because remember you're the model and you help everything look better. So don't worry about that. So yeah, no aim sight help. It's just gold tipped. Give it a quick shot. Nice. No more heads. No more hedge. Oh. Right, Will, I run out of ammo. You get to live today. So, now I get it. Now, I was a bit confused. I swear I saw this SMG before, but yeah. Now, this is made by Mishka, the Penny. What's the proper name? I called it the Penny MP5. Penny Pie. Penny 5. Haha.
That's funny. Yep. Let's see. This is called the Collector MP5.
It comes in 2 versions. I believe I've got the polished version, and there's an alternate version.
Worn and shiny.
Yeah, worn and shiny.
One of them has like a tarnish, and one of them has like a sheen to it. And I believe this is the worn.
Yes.
I brought in.
Now, Mishka is also the same guy that makes the camouflage set, isn't he? So he made this last week, but this week he's now making the camouflage garage door. So that's just something to keep our eyes open. And you know what? I'm happy you brought this in because we haven't had a I can't even remember the name of it. What do we call the long swords again? We called them sheet metal swords. No.
It's a salvage sword.
Salvage sword. No, because one of them used to. The very first skin I ever got for a salvage sword was the sheet metal sword. It was a similar design to the sheet metal that you find in the game. So it was a very cool looking Rust style skin. But yes, this is fairly cartoony, fairly silly. I'm losing my sanity talking about skins. So yeah, this is like a kid's toy. What is the set called, please, sir?
The kids' tools, I guess, or just kids.
Kids' tools, because we had stone tools like a year ago. Yes, I instantly remember that. Yes. So, I'd like to see this. We haven't had a salvage sword skin in about like 2 years. I'll look that up when we go back to SCMM. But yeah, we have not had a salvage sword. Destroy. Well, I'm not very good at throwing it, but yeah, I'm sure you can understand it looks cool. RuneScape sword. Good job. Good job, Mr. Hyper. Very nice joke. Can I pick you up? No. Guess we'll just leave you there. Right then, Mr. Micro. I believe I've gone through everything that I needed to show off. I could have shown off the crown, but I feel like we should save that for you. Because there's some other things to look at as well, aren't there? The stage is yours.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do here?
I'm going to have a quick look at these weapons when you look and hold them. Oh, yes. Turn it to a nice early morning.
I don't recall which order you did those in.
It doesn't matter. You just hold them and look special and pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, yeah, that looks very, very nice. Striker pose, Mr. Micro. Looking very good. How about you bring out that AK? Well, it's on your back.
Well, there's another SMG.
Oh, yes, we'll do that. Looking very good. Vortex Collection. The reason why I got it mixed up is because we've had something very similar recently. The Velocity. We had Velocity last week, didn't we? Velocity Bow. That's it. But Vortex kind of kicked off back in early June. Because Mr. Verona got like 3 skins accepted, didn't he? And he had his Vortex... Was it MP5 accepted? No, was that before or after? He was successful. So yeah, how about we get a look of another skin, please, sir? Mr. Micro?
Yeah, well, I mean, so we saw during the recoil update, we had the... we had the first version of this, right? We had 3 skins by this author get accepted. So that was the start of sort of 3 different sets. You know, I don't think we know if they're going to become sets, but at least the Vortex did. So he had the Vortex LR get accepted for the recoil update. And then after that, we saw the MP5 get accepted, which is... I don't know. Is that is that doing well? I don't think either of these are selling for all that high of a price. But sadly the skins were passed up. Some of the skins were passed up on the recoil update, or not passed up. Like I mean by customers, right? There just weren't many sold. I don't know if it just didn't get attention or if the attention was divided between too many other things. But this would be the 3rd entry in the Vortex set.
What do we have next to show, Mr. Micro? What do you feel like showing now? The AK.
Well, you were eager to show the...
Because it looks cool. I think that's a great find. So shiny, very sleek. I want to get a very good like position where I can see it perfectly because There we go. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, they are. Perfect. Very nice to look at. Very appealing to the eyes. However... AK skin, Yes, it's a very cool looking design, very interesting. Do you know what will happen after a week or two? He'll be down in price again. It's very unfortunate. People aren't loyal to their AK skins. It's a very, very interesting design. I like it a lot, but I just don't see people liking them very much. Can you destroy... No, sorry, I thought the trees are too close to you. Right, and yeah, now we have the SMG.
What's that? Oh, you're getting shading on?
Yeah, shade is kind of...
Get rid of this thing. That's
the...
on higher graphics. That gives more. It gives like an open shade.
Yes. Oh, that looks cool. That looks cool.
Sunlight, but
yep, that looks really nice. Now that I look at it. Yep. All right. What else do we have? We have the sword. Yep, it was the sword. Oh, we got the penny 5. No, it's called the polished collectors MP5. Yes, very nice design. We haven't had an MP5 skin for a while, if I recall. We used to get them quite a lot, but then they've dropped out of favour. People didn't like them as much after the recall update, and they've all kind of lost their value, unfortunately. But I would like to see that. It's a very nice design. I think it looks cool. Does it shoot coins, Mr. Micro?
Yeah, good question. I don't think it does.
Too costly. Right. And what else do we have after this?
Well, we have the double barrel we can show.
Yes, I want to get a good look at that.
Fine.
If you could just turn slightly to your right. I want to get a good look at this. So go Q, up and over. Walk into the sunlight if you can. I want to see that bright. Oh yeah, you have a different daytime. Could you stand over to the side where this tree is in the through the concrete over to the right, your right? Could you stand closer to that? Behind you.
Over here?
Yes, that's it. That's it. You're right in the light. That's it. Wonderful. Perfect. Yeah, I wanted to get a good look of it in the daytime, because that's when you're going to see all the shine and the brightness. Very, very good job, Mr. Little Ranger. I think that's going to be a winner. And is there anything else that we must show off, Mr. Micro?
Well, there's the sword.
Indeed. Whip it out.
We can show that SAR too, so we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll show the SAR as well. Yeah, I like it. You can see up close the detail he's put in to make it look like an aged piece of rock, like the pillars you'd see in Greece and whatnot. So I do like that. That would be a very, very intricate bump map. Very good job. I like that a lot. And all of the pattern. I was trying to figure out what style of pattern this is, but I can't really seem to figure out what it is. I would say waves.
It's either Greek or Roman inspired, for sure. That pattern has a name. It's not houndstooth. That is like a established pattern name. It has a name as far as I know. I don't recall.
We'll just call it a pillar. Just call it a pillar.
Well, yeah, if you're talking about the zigzag thing, those flutes along the length of the receiver and of the forward hand grip, those are definitely inspired by like the architecture themes.
Greek, yeah. Just go Greek. All right, Mr. Meta said Greek, so I'll just stick with that. Now, sir, wield your sword and raise it high.
Who
are you gonna?
The honor of helping the creator do screenshots for this week.
Very nice. Who's this made by then, Mr. Micro?
This is Spectre's skin. I mean, there's really the set has a couple creators. I think it might be under his workshop. But there's a couple guys. Actually, one of the guys whose name is it's spelled quicker, but he's an old school workshopper. He used to go by El Loco Diablo, and he's got some very, very old skins from the early days of Rust. So I think he's been sort of helping out some of the newer guys, which is something that I've been doing too. And this is, pretty cool continuation of some of the kids' tools that we saw a while back.
Oh, I threw my sword away. I was going to attack you with mine.
Well, that's bullshit, man. Get out of here.
Hang on a minute. I'm trying to figure
Can't
out.
tell someone that you were gonna attack them when they're holding a weapon.
I mean, let me find mine. I've dropped it over here. Ah!
Oh, you see that hit? Wow, what?
I can't see where it hit me, but it hit
I gotta see
me.
my combat log. That was a good throw.
Oh, it's in my elbow. My funny bone. No!
Right in the funny bone.
Okay, let's go pull this out.
You know what? You got lucky because you have immunity turned on, and so therefore I doesn't show up in my combat log, and I can't see what the range was on that beautiful throw.
Please pull that out.
Gosh, that was like Tom Brady level. That might even have been a Dr. Disrespect level throw.
So, we have some extra silly things to show off, don't we? Shall we, you missed. You can only hit me once. Would you like to show off the silly things to start off with the crown? Give it a proper look, and then we'll look at the other things. Stand in the right position, Mr. Micro. Let's go. Stand a little bit more forward, and show me what you got. Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll do the item that we started the stream with, which is a hilarious and creative design, which I'm a little skeptical about because, you know, it's so heavily cut out. You know, it almost doesn't look like you're wearing a headwear even. It might be hard to see from some angles. I mean, it does sit a fair amount up and away from the head, so it is actually kind of huge, and on account of that, it doesn't really look like it fits properly. But for the meme, it's really funny. I mean, got to hand it to him for the creativity and the cleverness of using the skin in this way.
Is it all for naught, though? We were talking about this. Like, it's fun to see them having fun being creative with these ideas, but is it actually going to amount to anything? Are we ever likely going to see something like this be accepted? We saw it with the cat, we saw it with the frog, we saw it with... like, we used to see people do this all the time with the nerd glasses and whatnot, but ever since then, Face Puncher kind of stepped in and said, you know what, we probably should stop doing this. We're going to add some guidelines. You can't do this anymore. People are now back to trying it again. Will we see this get accepted? Because I do like the idea of it. It's silly. And people don't really run around with bucket helmets anymore, do they? So, can't hurt to have new skins.
You use what you get. If you're out looting and running around with stuff and you come across the bucket helmet and all you have is a bandana, damn right I'm putting on that bucket helmet and running my ass back home just because it gives me more protection than what I had. So there's a time and place for using it. If I'm going out to go PvP, I might wear that. If I'm
at what cost?
There's a raid situation, I have nothing else, I will use it. So
at the cost of your hair.
Well,
you can come up with excuses all you want.
Stressful game. Rust is a stressful game, so please pardon my hair. Okay, it is what it is.
Now
we're dealt. We got to play the hand we're dealt.
That's not the silliest thing this week, though, is it?
Yeah, it's actually not. You know, I think I kind of said this before too, but you know, we are in the third week of Wipe, and it's no secret to creators that most of the biggest sales weeks are during Force Wipe. So that's what I was kind of saying earlier, is that we're gonna see creators being more like pushing the boundaries and saving some of their good ideas, especially during mid-wipe periods where we're at. So I don't blame them at all for trying something that may stand a little bit less of a chance, but it's also like the same kind of concept when you see those like insane fashion shows in Milan where it's like people wearing like abstract art pieces as clothing, and you're like, there's absolutely no way anyone's dressing like that to go out in public, right? That's ridiculous. But it exaggerates design concepts and it pushes the limits. You could go to an auto show. Every year here we have the annual, like the New York Auto Expo, where they show all these like wild prototypes, many of which never make it to production or not even come close to being production worthy. But they're there to stretch the limits of the imagination, to show off their creativity, to, you know, maybe rub it in the face of some other creator or something. Like, it's cool to see this, and like it's cool to see these guys practicing their skills and stretching the limits of what we've seen so far. So I applaud people for doing this kind of thing, even if the odds are maybe a little less that we'll see it.
Right.
And
Oh,
just
cool.
like we're using it here on my server, there are plenty of roleplay servers or like monthly like 5x servers that have a skin box, and which by the way, I'm not. I saw someone ask the question. I'm not using Skinbox to do this. This is all W Skin or Workshop Skin Viewer if you were going to get the plugin off UMod. But you got plenty of servers where this kind of stuff can be found and spawned in and used. So we might have a PVE server that's sort of like kingdom based. I mean, I've played on one before. It was like medieval Rust, and so perfect place for a crown skin. So I think it's a well done skin, even if it's not going to get accepted because of some of the criteria for acceptance. Still could see it on servers.
So you've gone through that whole speech before you even show off what this next skin is. So he just did all of that, said all of that. Go ahead.
World ready for what we're about to see next? Okay.
Well, you've kind of buttered them up. Here we go. Spaghetti on a plate.
Spaghetti on a plate.
Yep.
I love it.
Spaghetti.
Is that what this is called? This is called pan head.
Well, pan head. We'll just go with that.
Cat on head, and now we have pan head.
So he's got he's got this on his head. I respect the creativity. I think it's a very silly idea. I think that would sell amazingly. I honestly think that would sell amazingly. I don't care. I don't care if it doesn't fit Rust. Look at it. If you're sitting here and you're going to ask what might sell well, what would be a good investment?
Hey, I mean, we saw the secret recipe and that got in. So that was maybe not pushing the limits so much, but it was like a cool and clever design that was, I personally, I didn't think we were going to see that get in, but we did. So same kind of thing could happen here.
So like the likes of Berserker Cloak was never accepted and whatnot. Like we should just kind of accept that awesome things like that can be made won't be accepted because it can be deceptive. But I don't care. Whenever anybody's going to run around with spaghetti on their head, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to immediately assume it's a bucket head. Like it's gonna, word's definitely going to get around that is a bucket. Again, I can only praise the creativity. That's special. That's spectacular. They should do that for a. You know what? If it doesn't get accepted, I want to see that as a charity skin for this year. I want to see that in the game somehow, some way. I don't care if it sells for $5. Yes, we have the chicken hat. Yes, so this is great. That is a perfect idea. You know what? Can I spin around? Can I? Wait, you press Alt, don't you? Or Control? That's it.
Control. And then you just tap R and it'll go back to normal.
The best priced chicken. Oh, we're talking about... I've got to kind of manoeuvre my way around here now. Oops.
Oh, it's impossible to do that upside down. So.
Oh, I'm doing it reasonably okay. Do you remember we were talking about companies earlier? Cobalt Fried Chicken. No, fried meat. Oops. But yeah, you get the idea. So there are some very creative ideas where you can use most of the helmet still. But I applaud the efforts. I respect the creativity. Yeah, maybe one day. But just probably not today. So... Micro, I do believe that's everything. I don't think we have anything else to show off.
I believe you're correct. Yeah.
I showed off all the aim sites. None of them are glow-in-the-dark aim sites, mind you. So, yeah, I think it's back to SCMM now. Again, thank you very much for the help with this week. We have stuff all over the place.
Everyone go vote on the Hedge target.
No.
The skin for next
week. No, don't. I don't want my head to be shot at all day, every day. People are going to be mean. Anyway, I'm going to go shoot off now. You could clear up everything. I'm going to bed. See ya. Bye.
Alright, I'll clean up.
What's that? Right, gents, we're back, and still got a decent amount of people still watching, so that's nice. That's helpful. That's good to know. I do like to know that I'm still got a bunch of people watching. Yeah, they held out all of these hours. So let's just give this a nice quick refresh just to make sure we're up to date. I'm not sure if this is updated since we last looked, but you know, with this current week, it's not exactly a super spectacular week with super amazing, interesting things. Yes, it's potentially one of the last graffiti storages. Yes, we do have another rocket launcher after such a long time. We appreciate it. We love that. We're very, very happy with that. But nothing really stands out. And honestly, I don't imagine anything other than this going over 20,000 sales this week. It's looking to be one of those weeks where it's like, I don't think anything's going to be jumping up in price insanely. Like, if we go back and look in July 7, which is always a great thing to look back at. When we had all of this out, this top 4 was looking like, yeah, there's a potential to make a great profit with all of these. But when I look at this, honestly, the only reliable things are probably these two, and I cannot guarantee this is going to be perfect. Does everybody want to jump in and get the antique rocket launcher? I mean, you've got like the carrot launcher, for example, that everybody seems to just not like or not want, as we can see with the pricing. It was down by 33%, and it's still down by 33%. But when we look at all of the other rocket launchers, we can see that this is actually the cheapest. Hardly any of them are below $2. This is a $1.99 skin. That's reassuring. That's nice. So yeah, that could be fine. Now there was one thing I wanted to talk about, and that was salvaged swords, because we haven't seen any sword skins in such a long time. Pixel sword, we can look at you. You're probably a good example. I think this might actually be the last one to have come out. So if we look at cheaper swords, and then we look at most recent, did we get one in 2021? No, that in fact was the very last Savage Sword skin, over 2 years ago. So yes, very similar to what we saw with the likes of the Outer Planets locker. It's just one of those things that just doesn't seem to get skins anymore. Or you know what? That kid's toy sword, perfect. I thought that looked perfectly fine. I wouldn't say no to it. Because when we look at everything else, like with the likes of this week, it's just the same old, same old. Another Python skin, another AK skin, another SAP skin, another bow skin. Have we had many garage door skins this year? I think we've had like 7. That's not too bad, but again, it's one of the more common things that we usually see. I would like to see some other things appear. I would like to see a good sense of variety. So yeah, that's actually the 6th one this year. Furnaces aren't super common. We do get them every now and then, but like we've got the zucchini, now we've got a pineapple. I'm really not going to be surprised if we see another fruit or vegetable furnace appear another week's time or whatever. It seems to be a trend that's happening. So what we do know is though, this will be finishing soon, but maybe not next week, but the week after. But will we start to see, or will we hear that Complete the Sets is coming back? And from there, how on earth are we going to figure out what's going to be accepted? I don't know how it worked out. I should have asked Micro that. Do the creators themselves have to push forward one of the skins from their collections that they wanted to have got accepted? I don't know. But I do look forward to that potentially happening again. Because if we randomly get some armor or clothing pieces that help complete the final set, like, as I said, toy collection, Glister collection, they still needed tier 3. Glister collection needed tier 3. Toy needed hoodie and pants. They do exist. They are in the workshop. What happens if they randomly get accepted during the complete the sets? Well, all of the other core pieces would jump up in price, wouldn't they? The reactionary nature of the Rust economy, and that's going to be a great money maker because I already own a whole bunch of them. Gentlemen, I don't really have much else to talk about. So as I mentioned earlier, I do this every Saturday. All the links are usually in the descriptions for what I put into my videos, my YouTube videos. So just quickly look there and you'll see the link to my Twitch and whatnot. This happens every single Saturday. Today it went on for a bit long. That was a mistake. Like, we had problems and we fixed them and then we continued from there on. If you ever have questions, I'll help you out. I'll answer them the best I can. Again, we also had that earlier. I ended up talking for about 30 minutes answering questions, so that was fun. On the horizon, this Monday, in 2 days' time, I am expecting the camouflage garage door, and we would be expecting the electrical graffiti storage. Has that been added as we're talking? No, but it is expected to appear. It got bumped up to being number 16, and apparently it finishes off with this. So, personally, I'm just reading a question by Mr. Cheese. He says, personally, I'd prefer to have the kid's toy sword as a long sword skin. Have not had a long sword skin in ages, but would just reduce the chances of it being accepted, I guess. Yeah, long swords have not been seen for a while. Do they still get used a lot? Hot-tempered long swords, fairly expensive. I know that because, again, we don't have any options. There's $203. Really? Yeah, I remember when this was accepted. So yeah, this is just one of those things we just haven't had. We haven't had any skins for it for ages. Ever since 2017, 5 years almost, we have not had a longsword skin. Danger fork. Wow. I forgot about that. So it's unfortunate, isn't it? It is unfortunate. Some things are just being neglected or forgotten about. I personally would like to see a week where we have skins put forward for things like this. The longsword, the salvage sword, water refinery. What's it called? You know what about the purifier, water purifier. Screw it. Let's get another one in. Why not? Burlap clothing. We haven't had any burlap clothing for a while. In fact, I'll quickly look that up. Was it the disco? Or was it Halloween? I think it's disco. Just, it's just things I feel like wouldn't hurt to have like a theme around. The last ones were Fisherman. That came out on August 5th. So, just over a year ago now. So yeah, we have not seen any burlap for a long time, and looking at all of this, burlap's looking to be quite in demand. With a lack of options comes with buyouts on all the cheapest pieces, and of course it all ends up in the positive. Except disco, but that's not too far off from going above its restore price. So yeah. Cheese, I'd agree. I would like to see more things being put forward to things that have been neglected or forgotten about. It would be nice to see. I made a mention of it for all the double door skins, the wooden double doors, the sheet metal double doors, the armour double doors. We hardly see any skins for them accepted anymore. Wooden double doors had the Fireflies earlier this year, and then we had the Outer Planets armour double doors happen earlier around March time this year. We have not had a sheet double metal door skin all of this year. We had the XQC door, which was given away for free during the Twitch Rivals event about 2 weeks ago. Okay, but I'm talking marketable. One you can buy, one you can sell, one you can trade, something like that. What is behind these choices? I don't know. I'd like to find out. I'd like to understand the thought process and why some of these weapons get picked so more to have skins and why some of them don't. And deployables and Armour and Clothing, you get me. So, fingers crossed, we see some interesting new designs for Armour and Clothing in the workshop this Monday, which of course would be workshop submission day. I stream that as well if you want to pop in. But yeah, that's on the horizon. Maybe we'll see those tier 2 pieces for Skullkiller and Black Gold. Hopefully. I really do want to see them appear because, well, it's the only thing we can look forward to. It's the only thing that can put a smile on my face. And she says, yes, so many entities lacking skins, tables, chairs, bear rug swords. Yeah, we used to get tons of chair skins. Now we get none. We never really got many table skins. Bear rugs are a bit creatively kind of cramped or stuck. Like, we had a werewolf one, we had a teddy bear one, and we had a panda one. What else could you do? You could do a polar bear. Yeah, you could do a polar bear one, but what else? Like, there's not much else you can do. Maybe a monster one. Yeah, monster one for Halloween. There you go. Yeah, we did a werewolf one for Halloween. It's not too hard if you turned it like blue, like the Monsters Inc. monster. There you go. There's so many ideas. So, yeah. We're just a bit creatively stuck at the moment. I'd like to see more variation. Some items that don't really get many skins appearing, and then, yeah, so... Guys, sorry if this seemed a bit slow, if it seemed a bit depressed. But hopefully next week we get a very nice, interesting batch. Or maybe it's all being held back for Wipe Day. Let's see. But thank you for watching the video. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope we potentially saw some things that might be accepted soon. Not much else to say. So 2 more days, workshop day. We'll see what was accepted. And then... we'll see what the Rust rotation is, and then next Saturday we'll do this all over again. Yay! So, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.